What's up, everybody? You're watching another episode of the Iron Obsession podcast. Before today's video gets started, I'd like to ask you all to please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to get notifications on this channel. Please support the show by using code Anson10 at either Iron Rubber Power Gear or Granite Nutrition. Thank you. What's up, man? How you been doing?
Pretty good, dude. I've just been chilling. Today, in particular, was a rest day, so I've done nothing. I've just been vibing.
That'll be me on
Feels pretty
Wednesday.
good.
I
Yeah.
remember, I think on our first conversation, I mentioned how I'll set up days like to where I'll be off on my rest days. I kind of got out of the habit of that. Now I'll just go into work on Wednesday anyways, because I'm supposed to have Thursdays off, but I was messing around with it for a little bit. But it's been nice. It's honestly kind of cool going to the gym, like when you own a gym. It's cool to go in, work out, and just leave. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. No, I know. That's so I had a similar experience 'cause I used to work at Gold's. So like I would feel like I'm there the whole day and then I'm working out or whatever, but I actually missed being able to just walk in and walk out. And whenever I ended up not working there but still training there, um, it was kind of nice. Can't lie. I
Yeah.
think I appreciated it more. I don't know. It may take the value out of like where you're training if you're there all the time, you know?
100%. Yeah, and I'm sure I'll probably go back into that. And I'm on a 4 day split now still, so if we do go back to a
Yeah.
5 day, then it'll automatically line up anyways. But I don't know. I kind of just don't care to do that right now. Honestly, my food is at a
Yeah.
spot to where, like I've mentioned in the past as well, my food is in a spot to where I still feel like I'm bodybuilding on my rest days because like I'm eating a decent chunk. You know, it's not like in the past I've
Yeah.
always starved on rest days. Like I think my training days right now, food just got bumped up last week, so I think I'm at like 5,500 calories or something like that for my training days.
Dude, that's insane.
It
Gosh.
still feels like nothing to me, but
No,
but
that is
my
nuts.
rest days are 4,000. But in the past, if I had 5,500 on my training day, my rest day would be like 25, 3,000, like a big disparity there. Because I would go low carb or sometimes even no carb on my rest days.
Yeah. No, like I have lower calories, but I'm
Hmm.
by that large of a margin, you know?
Yeah,
I think it's like might be 600 difference.
yeah. I think
Like, and
it's
it's usually just in
15.
carb.
Yeah, it's 15 for me right now, and that's just because I have 7 meals on training day, 6 meals on workout day or
Yeah.
rest days. Yeah, so like
Bro,
my,
that's
my
just
post workout
insane.
meal is huge. My post workout meal is like 160 grams of carbs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got that metabolism though. Like you've been eating like that for some time, dude. I couldn't imagine getting to that point though, because like I don't know, I just have trouble with it already. You know, I have like not that I have trouble eating my meals, but it's not something that I'm like looking forward to sitting down to eat, you know what I'm saying? We've been over that before. Like
Yeah,
I'm not inclined to stop what I'm doing to eat, so it feels like such a hassle.
yeah. I think every bodybuilder has their kind of areas where they align more and areas where they don't.
Yeah.
What's an area like? How do you feel about cardio in general?
I mean,
Like, are you a cardio enjoyer? Are you someone who likes to get on the treadmill and run?
no.
Okay.
No. I mean, like, when you've been doing it for a couple weeks in a row, like at the beginning, I mean, you do it all the time, but I mean longer durations.
Mhm.
Like when you get into prep and you're on there for maybe 30, 40 minutes at a time for a couple weeks in a row, I feel like you can get some rhythm, you know what I'm saying? It's not
Mhm.
so unbearable. And I don't mind it. I look forward to it because I'm in shape. But whenever I'm like a little chubbier, it just is difficult. Like I'm out of breath all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm only going 20 minutes right now, and
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
doing
doing it post
25 for me.
workout. So like, yeah, post workout, I'll do 20 minutes, and then I'll go home. And it's not something I look forward to though. No, I usually have to make myself do it.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm like debating on not doing,
So
but
then
I'm like,
it sounds like
I'm already at the
the
gym.
surplus is kind of like the only big struggle you have, unless I'm missing something. Like that's your biggest area of struggle.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I could go. I have a way easier time and better time personally when I'm cutting, when
Hmm.
I'm not having to worry about that much food. And when I say worry about food, like obviously, like I said, we're bodybuilders, so I've got an internal clock always running for food anyway. But when you're eating a lot, and I'm sure you can attest to it, like you have to really have your day planned out.
Yeah, that's
Because if
why
you
I
get put in
texted
a
you.
situation,
That's why I texted you earlier.
yeah,
Like, you want to do this at 5:30 because I need to eat around like
yeah,
6:30 instead or 7.
yeah, you
So
really you can't lose your schedule because if you get pushed back by an hour or two,
yep.
that could be 2 or 3 meals that get lumped in together, and then
Hmm.
your digestion's messed up and like
Yeah.
your sleep sucks. I mean, it's just like full circle
And wearing
sucks.
this, where I don't know if you've seen, but I've got the CGM. Wearing this thing,
Yeah,
man.
dude, I was gonna ask you about it.
Yeah, we can talk all about that. But
I
wearing
saw it.
that too, that has also helped teach me the importance rather of meal timing and why you should not space meals too close together. Because
Yeah,
I have a really big appetite, right? So I would kind of
yeah,
get in this habit of eating at an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. Like it would even right now at 5,500 calories, it really sucks to have to sit for 2 hours.
yeah.
But I see
That's
at
cool.
about an hour and a half, depending on the meal, of course. My post workout meal is like nothing but carbs and protein, so
Yeah,
that I can eat an hour, hour and a half after that. But my other meals, I really need about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Now, if I wait two and a
yeah.
half hours, I'm gonna be going hypo. I'm gonna be like 60 nanograms per deciliter. But
So do you have low blood sugar? Like, do you have?
I guess now I do. I never have in the past, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, your digestion's just going crazy.
Yeah,
You feel like
like
you're just running through your food. Yeah,
it'll. I woke up this morning. I think I'll just go off memory. I think it was like 78 fasted blood sugar this morning,
yeah.
and that's
I mean,
on
mine stays around
almost.
there fasted, but dude, I
Yeah.
just don't have like. I get hungry after a few hours, but usually I have to make myself eat on schedule. Like I'm
Mhm.
not. I don't have like a. I'm not starving. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no crazy desire to eat. Um, Yeah, I mean, but so with that thing on your arm, like, does it show you on your phone?
Yep, I'll pull it up for you.
That's what I figured.
So let's see what we're sitting
That's
at
pretty
right
dope.
now. So right now I'm at 78. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, so that matches
Close
what your
that.
fasting blood sugar is.
That's funny. You can't see it, but it's 78. And let's see. Fasted this morning was I think 78. It was something like that. It was in the 70s regardless. But
Right,
yeah.
but
So I
it's
can just
gone back
constantly see
down.
it. Yeah, and I ate at 4:30. It is 5:39, and that's another thing I've noticed too with the CGM. It seems like that's a alarm to eat because it's you can see that. But
Yeah,
that's another thing I've noticed with the CGM is it actually seems for me, as weird as it sounds, man, it's almost like my insulin sensitivity gets better throughout the day. The more food I eat, the more sensitive I get to it, which is weird.
I
I've
mean, dude,
never
it's
been
probably
that
because
way.
you're just sticking on such a crazy schedule. Like, I
But
mean, if you're on
I'm a
point
fat
with it.
kid at heart, man. I'm supposed to be like 80% body fat.
No, dude. I mean, but like whenever you're eating on a schedule, I mean, you can speed up the body's natural processes like that. I mean,
Sure.
you can definitely get it into better rhythm.
Yeah, and
And
maybe by me
yeah,
eating, at those close intervals realistically, I don't think I was waiting much longer than an hour and a half. Maybe me eating at those quicker intervals kind of taught my body to clear food quicker. I don't know.
yeah, it definitely could have. I mean, and you think about like what we do, you're usually doing whatever the plan is. I mean, if you was eating every hour, hour and a half, that usually lasts like a few months. You know what I'm saying? Like these
Hmm.
stages that we go through are months long. So yeah, your body adapts to these things after you do something for so long, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But I will have times like that. Like if we right at the beginning of prep, you kind of have that initial drop,
Hmm.
yeah, maybe 700 to 1,000 calories. Like the initial drop gets you kind of going,
Hmm.
and from that point on, I'm clearing my food, no problem.
Oh yeah.
But it's like pushing up to those new numbers every time. Like even after, like for a rebound, of course, like you got some help. Like you're
Yeah.
definitely hungry. But
Oh yeah.
when you start pushing into those new numbers for the off season of eating, like that's when I really start to feel it.
Hmm.
So, but I know that prep. I'm gonna start prep in January,
Nice.
and whenever I do, I know I'm gonna clear food like that much quicker. I'm gonna feel so much better, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
Did
gonna
you
feel so much better.
So what show did you end up deciding on?
So I haven't even decided on a show yet.
Oh,
So I
okay.
guess what I'm gonna do is start prepping in January. Ideally, we would do like around the same time, like later May, and
Hmm.
whenever I'm like visually 8 weeks out is when I'll start looking for a show in that
Okay.
timeline.
You're
But
brave.
I don't want to rush anything.
You're brave, man. That would terrify me. Just the uncertainty.
Well,
Because, like,
yeah,
one of the things I love about working with Joseph Percher, man, he has my entire day, sorry, yeah, my entire day, but my entire year mapped out. So I'm looking at my phone right now
yeah,
because I can tell you, let's see, I am 41 weeks out from my show.
yeah.
So
Well, that's crazy.
I can just
Yeah,
I can
definitely
just
don't do
look
that.
like we've and of course
Yeah,
it's no cookie cutter. If the timeline needs to change, it'll change stuff like that.
for
Like
sure.
we ended up
Yeah,
starting the cruise before this growth phase about a week later, so that pushed everything, and then they added a
yeah.
week to the show, so it actually ended up being the exact same.
Okay. Yeah, see, for me, it was like the conversation with Ben more so went like, ideally, what would our season look like this year? And I was like, well, I like the May timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I feel comfortable prepping into the summer as the weather gets better, all that. Like I've done that before. I feel comfortable with it. So then he was like, yeah, May will work. And then we kind of like, so I guess what I'm saying is we let our preferences out and then we kind of shape the
Mm-hmm.
plan to that. And I mean, we do have a
Yeah,
plan up until December of next year. But those are all variables at the
yeah,
same time. They
very
could change at any moment.
loose goals. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, so I'll tell you the plan as of now is to do the regional in May and go ahead and just qualify for a whole nother year.
the Palmetto again because it sounds like May. So
I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. See, maybe I get ready crazy early. Maybe I'm just like torching all the body fat and like I'm ready super early. Maybe I would do one in April. But if I'm not ready in time, or maybe we're trying to preserve my arms because they suck, and we slow things down a little bit, maybe I would go early July instead, or sorry, June. But you get my point. Like it can change. But the overall goal that we're looking to do is qualify for nationals again,
mhm.
come like that May timeline, and then we'll try and aim for nationals in December. So like
Oh
that's
wow,
the big
that's
show for
late.
me.
I didn't realize Nationals was that late in the year, man. That's crazy.
Me neither. To
That
be
is
honest with
wild.
you, dude, like I don't know how many, like I don't know if this is normal or not, is what I'm getting at, but
Mhm.
I really don't keep up with the amateur scene at all, dude.
I
Like
try
I
to
know
now.
that sounds, yes, yeah, but like I just I don't know. I don't keep up with it in the slightest. Like I've kind of always just picked a show. Like I know what my goals are,
Yeah.
but like I really don't get into following the different promoters and like yeah, it's not like I have anything against it. You get what I'm saying? It's
No, I
just like
understand. It's just
I've never really
your
paid
tunnel
attention.
vision on your specific goal, which is totally
Yeah.
understandable.
So I mean, I'll start following a promoter when I know
Hmm.
I'm gonna do a show around this time and they promote the show at this time. Then I'll start keeping up with the updates and seeing
Yeah.
what's going on. But like I really don't involve myself in like the amateur scene.
Mhm.
And maybe that's to my detriment, because like there's
Speaking
probably a
on
lot of
that,
people I can meet.
yeah, speaking on that, man, I went to a bodybuilding show on Saturday and I didn't compete at
Yeah.
it. So that have you ever
Yeah,
done
see
that?
that's odd. No.
Yeah, I'd never done
No.
that either. Since my third show I've ever been to, because I've only ever been to the other two that I had done, and
Yeah.
man, it was an awesome production. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the Quincy Roberts Elite Muscle Classic is in Greensboro, North Carolina, and
Okay.
Jordan Hutchinson was there to guest post. That was insane,
Yeah, I saw that photo. Saw the
dude.
photo you posted.
It's crazy. I'd never met like a legit open pro before. It's a
You
whole
probably realize
different
how
world.
big they.
Yeah, well, and another thing too, I've had multiple people tell me this, and I don't really see it, but they say like when we stood beside each other, they
No,
say
I
it in the
said that.
face. Yeah, yeah, that's right. You
Yeah,
remember me too.
100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
my mom was there
Yeah.
with me. My mom and my wife were the two people that came with me, and we were on the way home. And I said, people always tell me I look a lot like Jordan. What did you think when we were standing beside each other? She's like, I'm your mother, but I thought you two were twins looking at you. I'm like, come on.
Bro, I saw like the photo you posted, you look pretty similar.
Yeah,
And I
it
really
makes
didn't think he
sense.
got like dwarfed either, bro. I was thinking in my head, I was like, he stood his own for real.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that, but I'm not gonna disagree
No, but you didn't get
because it
dwarfed.
makes
Like
yeah
that's an
no
objective
oh
reality.
yeah
You didn't get dwarfed,
yeah he's
A
about an
lot of people
inch
do.
he's about an inch taller than me. I think I'm 5'9", he's
Yeah.
5'10", something like that. And he was 2 weeks post Olympia, so he's probably about 280, 290 if I had to guess,
Yeah, I
something
was
like that.
about to say maybe 275.
Yeah, well I think he competed at like 265.
Okay.
Two
Yeah,
sixty,
I
two
guess it
sixty five.
depends on how much pizza he's eating post show.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that. He's going to the Cheesecake Factory after that. The Madison, but we got to talk about that too. I'm gonna have Madison on tomorrow. Man, won the freaking overall in open bodybuilding in super heavyweight class.
Where was this? Oh,
This
at
was
that show in
Yeah,
Greensboro.
'cause I went there
Okay.
to see Madison because he had mentioned when we did our podcast, and then I also went there
Yeah.
because Jordan was there. I was like, all right, these two things, there's no way I can't go see this. And
Yeah.
we're sitting there, and he obviously wins his class because he's the only person in it, right? But goes to the overall, and he starts on the outside. He starts going in, and then he starts going in, and then he's dead center,
Nice.
and I'm like, he's pretty good condition. There might be a guy beside him that is like slightly better, but it's not by much. And I can tell you, he outweighs everybody on that stage by probably 60 pounds, 50 pounds.
Dude,
Maybe not that much, but he's big dude in person.
you feel like the competition was good?
Oh yeah, it was super good, man. That is the first show where I have seen the 50 plus masters competitors look like
Yeah.
younger than they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like it was weird.
Yeah. I mean, what's crazy is like, see, I don't even keep up. Like, I've never heard of this show before, but it seems like it's a pretty big promotion.
It's the oldest show in North Carolina. And I'd
What's the
always heard
name of
about
it?
it, the Elite Muscle Classic. I think it used to have a different name. They
Yeah.
always have the best guest posers, man. Last year it was Sean Clarita. This year it was Jordan Hutchinson.
Hey.
Flex
Oh,
Wheeler guest posed here back in the day.
yeah. No, I don't even know. Man, I gotta get hit. I gotta start figuring it out.
So that's definitely going to be, and it was only, dude, tickets were like $35.
Yeah. That's the thing with them local shows, dude. Like, they are
Because,
pretty
yeah,
affordable most of the time.
I was going to go to the Raleigh show that I plan on doing in 26, but man, I think the guest pass just to see me, it was like
Yeah.
$150.
Yeah, it was insane. I saw the prices and I was like, "Oh, I'm not going." I used to live there. Like,
I heavily
I mean, I know
considered
you
it.
know that, but
Yeah.
well, I was even thinking. I think my sister may compete in that show next year. So
Oh,
if you end
awesome.
up like going to it, I may
Yeah.
still pop out. Plus, it'll
Cool.
still be like it's only 3 hours away from me
Yeah.
now. And I don't know where I'll be in August of next year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it'll be drivable from home, so
Cool.
that's decent. And but yeah, I don't think that she's gonna follow the same timeline as me. And
Yeah.
like my overall goal, like I said, is in December, and I'm gonna be prepping literally from January to December, basically. So
Hey, man,
I don't
but
think she's gonna follow that same thing.
for classic competitors, I really think that's the way to do it is to almost prep for like at least a half a year.
Yeah, and well, like it'll be prep for sure, but it's also like
You'll have push and pull
a
periods.
sprinkled in rebound. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
have a sprinkled in rebound because I'm going to do the show in May, roughly, and so like I can refeed off of that and grow a little bit.
So, question on that, and this is something that I'm gonna have to consider one day whenever I get to the point of doing multiple shows. So you say a
Mm.
rebound in between that show. Um, my idea of a rebound is still staying on things, like still staying on at least a little bit of elevated androgens. Um, would in this situation where you're going to basically have to prep for almost a whole year, would you push the gas there a bit, or is that going to be like your almost like your health phase?
No, I can't tell the future, and like honestly,
Just the methodology behind it all.
yeah, honestly, like if the blood work came back fine, I don't see any reason to come off.
Mm,
Especially if I'm on prep, food super clean,
mm,
supplements are like, actual supplements are in play, keeping my blood work in check. I don't see a necessary reason to come off. With that being said, though, if I was going to do a health phase, that would surely be it because
yeah.
maybe I would keep them in. I would, honestly, I would probably I think what we did last time even was start TRT immediately, but you still have that like
Mm,
4 to 8 weeks where androgens are clearing.
yeah.
And I've made a lot of progress in that. And I'm also not somebody, at least from what I can tell, anecdotally, what I've observed, I don't think I'm somebody that like falls flat right after androgens clear. Like I'm pretty good on TRT.
Yeah.
I still maintain pretty decent fullness. Like
Yeah, it takes me about
it's not horrible.
6 to 7 weeks to really start feeling like I'm off, if that makes sense. And
Yeah, for sure.
that's normally about how long I cruise for, is about somewhere between 6 to 8.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't last very long for me either. I've done one really long cruise, but to get back to what we were originally talking about, yeah, I mean I would probably do a health phase in there if it was needed. It would be around that time. If not, though, like if the blood work came back fine,
Yeah.
I may push it all year. And to be honest with you, like we was gonna probably do a health phase through this December because of what was coming up.
Yeah. Very good
But
idea.
the blood, like I just got my blood work back and it's looking pretty cool. So I'm, may continue to just push on
Yeah.
through into January on prep.
And
And,
I'm of
you
that
know, you
same
don't,
I'm of that same thought process. I don't think it's going to be bad for your health, and also you're very very conservative, and like you don't do anything
I
crazy.
was
So
about
there's a
to say,
part of
dude,
that.
yeah,
So
I mean, I really, and that may be one of the reasons that I don't feel super bad on TRT either. I'm not like after a prep for sure because, the last 6 weeks you're taking orals and stuff as
yeah,
well. So like you're feeling a lot more, but generally speaking, I am pretty conservative with my doses and like I don't do anything crazy. Um,
yeah. But that being
Not to
said,
mention like, oh,
have
go
you?
ahead.
So did you notice? I honestly think one of the reasons that some of the guys like Nick Walker, for example, came in looking a little off is because they basically were on the gas the whole year. And I'm sure their health was probably fine. And it's a different situation, right? Because they have so much more muscle and they're probably on so much more. But there's something to be said. I wonder if staying on for a year straight at a certain point, if it would affect the look, regardless of the amount.
Yeah, dude, I would say so 100%. Like I don't see any way it couldn't.
Yeah.
Because like we've had the conversations about like cortisol and stress and how bad it can ruin you, but like that's a I mean, that's a physical version of it, like you're stressing out your body being on drugs. I mean, that's what they are. They're drugs. And, yeah, you're stressing out your organs. You're taking extra supplements to try and bypass these, inevitable side effects that come with drug usage. So, you can get away with it for a while, but of course, to any, we're human at the end of the day. So I feel like there inevitably will come a time where it's so stressed out or you're taking so much or you've just hit a certain threshold where it alters your look because you're worn down. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not fresh anymore. Um, and I feel like you actually see that a lot, dude.
Hmm.
No, I mean, like I could agree with the Nick thing. Um, I don't know if it's like, I mean, of course, it's not just him, and who knows,
Yeah.
that may not be the problem either. But that definitely happens.
Yeah, I wish I could think of another example. He's the main one that comes to mind
No, for
for
sure.
that because he did so many shows. A lot of people. I think Derek's Olympia look. I don't think it was bad. I just think it was different. It was more fullness, less conditioning. But
Yeah,
a lot of people think that Derek didn't look very good, and he was
I'm
on
not
the
a
whole year.
fan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not a fan of Derek.
I'm not
It's not that I'm
necessarily.
not a fan of him. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same camp as you. This is how I describe it. I'm not a fan, but I'm not a fan. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think like I think he's got a great physique, but like I don't know. I mean, this is the thing about Derek is like I look at him when he's on his own,
Mhm.
and I don't get, he looks crazy. I
Yep.
mean, like I said, don't get me wrong, he's got a crazy physique. Um, but whenever I see him alone, I don't think like Mr. Olympia.
Mm.
But I will say, like when you see him next to other people, it's hard to argue that he's not winning poses. He's
Yeah.
got some really good body parts,
Yeah.
and he's in decent condition for sure. So he does win. I feel like almost on a statistic
Mm.
basis. Like when you're trying to really be logical about it, he
Yeah.
wins. But like to the eye,
Andrew.
I don't see him as a Mr. Olympia.
To the eye, it's Andrew.
I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's like I would immediately choose not at this Olympia, but like somebody with Samson's
Yeah.
type structure. Andrew is a good example.
2024
Um,
Samson. Honestly.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Who else is really good? Oh, and I think Martin will be
Yeah.
up there.
I think Martin
I
should
mean,
have
I've
probably
been
beat
rooting for Martin.
Samson at the Olympia. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to get the nudge at the Olympia
Yeah.
because he was the reigning Mr. Olympia.
Mm.
But at Prague shortly after he did, so it's like and an improved Samson, he still won, which was the best Martin that's ever been
Oh,
seen.
for
But
sure.
still,
That guy's a
an improved
bulldog, man.
Samson.
Martin is an absolute bulldog.
Yeah,
I love that physique.
yeah, I'm digging it for sure. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he can definitely win the Olympia
Yeah.
eventually. I think he's got to get a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But considering he's nailed as much as he has at the size he has, it's not easy to get bigger, but like you can't change bone structure, you
Mm.
can't change genetics, but you can surely get leaner and you can get more muscular. So
Yeah.
that's fully within his control. So I just don't see how that wouldn't happen. You know?
Yeah, my favorite kind of grouping of Olympians, I would say that like next year are probably going to make even a bigger splash than they did this year. They're kind of this. I don't know what you would describe the look as. Maybe you can help me figure that out. But basically, it's Martin, Jordan, Urs. I feel like they all three kind of have a similar look. They're super hard and detailed. They're round and
Yeah.
bubbly. Martin is a lot more round and bubbly than both of them, but they're just kind of hard,
Yeah.
dry, grainy, big.
Yeah. I can definitely see what you're saying. I don't know if you could necessarily give it one attribute, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if you could say it's just one, like, come up with one word that describes it, but I think that they're all three really good at nailing their peak. I mean, I think that's the
that
main
really,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that it's like they get in condition and they peak well, so you can see the hardness of the muscle and how dry they are, which is a very difficult thing to do, obviously, is you peak perfectly.
super
But
difficult.
like that's
I've
why
never done
Martin,
it.
I don't know, I don't know for sure that I have either. It's like I don't know because a lot of times in classic, like you kind of want to come in a little flat, you want
Yeah,
to be super lean,
100%.
and at least I was, I was very crisp looking, but I could have been
Had
fuller.
walnut ass, dude.
Yeah, yeah. That's hilarious.
I remember that's the
Yeah,
first
I mean,
thing. The first time I saw the pictures back and I saw the comparisons, I was like, "That dude's got a walnut ass." That's why he won right there. Like just
bro,
the
I
moment they
mean,
saw that, it was like number one.
yeah. Well, it was kind of like what I was saying a second ago about Martin, but it's like I knew that I wasn't necessarily going to be big enough. I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
not like the biggest guy.
at the show I was at with you, I don't think anybody outsized you in the classic.
No, not necessarily. And if they did, they also weren't in the same condition,
Exactly.
so it wasn't like it was a tit for tat type of thing. And it's like, these guys actually peeled.
Yep.
But at the national show, these guys were, I still believe I was one of the most peeled there, probably the most.
I believe it.
But I was also outsized like crazy, by 20 pounds, we'll
Yeah,
say.
you still got a lot of room in your weight cap, so that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. But that's kind of what I was saying a second ago about Martin. It's like there's a lot of stuff that's outside of my control that is already kind of going for me. So as long as I can nail the size and just come in a little bit bigger, I'm going to get more competitive each time.
Yeah.
And I know I can get peeled. So it's just a matter of getting a little bit bigger for real. And
Yeah.
honestly, the bigger you get, the more easy it is to get peeled.
Yeah, that's got to be an awesome position to be in because like no matter what at the end of the day you're going to show up looking good on stage if you know you can get peeled, and that's the biggest
Yeah.
thing that I struggle with is like I know I can put on size. I
Yeah.
can put on. I've never put on less than 15 pounds of muscle in an off season in a year, but like I don't. I've never actually gotten in like what I would consider like pro level conditioning, which is what you were at. I would say you were at pro level
Yeah.
conditioning.
Well, I
So,
definitely
so,
I appreciate that. And, I do have a good coach as well. Like,
yeah,
it's not, I definitely, put in no effort to get there, but like there's proper guidance at play as
yeah.
well that I
And
wouldn't have
maybe
been able
that
to do.
yeah, maybe that was just the missing key for me. Maybe now with being with Joe, we're gonna just get inside out peeled, and
Yeah.
that's how I see it too. And I really
Yeah.
think what it is for me too. I don't think I'm someone who you can just diet into the ground for 19 weeks straight.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think me
For sure.
going 19 weeks without a single increase of any type of calories on any day ever probably not good for me personally.
Yeah.
I think my body starts to kind of eat itself at about the 10-week out mark if I don't get some type of refeed. And mentally, I'm the type of person where I do not want a refeed. But
Yeah.
I can tell going into this next
I
prep,
can
I'm going to make sure
understand.
to be vocal about that and be like, hey, I remember every prep I've done around the 10-week out mark, I lose like 2 inches on my arms or two
Yeah.
inches on my legs, something like that.
Yeah. It's definitely something to be vocal about, but also like, I'm not trying to like throw shame in any way, but like hopefully a good coach would see these signs, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like,
you would
and
think.
they'd be like, yo, and especially if you start talking about like, yeah, my intensity in my arm training has been lacking because like it's just not there. Like I'm not feeling that same strength. You would think that like there would be signs to kind of point you in that direction to
Mhm.
tell you like, yo, something's kind of going wrong. But also I'll say like you was probably so flat that
Oh,
like you could have put some of that size back on it during your peak, but
yeah.
the hole was dug so deep. that you can't really refill it in a day or two
That's
or a
exactly what
week,
happened.
you know?
Yeah, and
Yeah. I mean, that's common
this is the thing about being flat. Now I know the saying is you got to get flat to not be fat, but man,
for sure.
I remember at like 5 weeks out, I had told my previous coach, "Hey man, something is wrong. I'm training legs, and it feels like my limbs are dead. Like I cannot
Yeah.
get a pump. I cannot
You're
even
just flat.
hardly move half of the weight. This is at 5 weeks out, mind you. The response is, "Oh, that's crazy. I thought you were going hypo on the treadmill or something with how you described that. You're fine. You're just flat." And then I think like maybe 4 weeks later, I got my first refeed. And when I got my first refeed, we immediately had to bump up my baseline calories, eventually up to about 5,100, because that's how much my metabolism started kicking once I got my
Golly,
refeed.
dude. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane. But that's a good example of like exactly, you dug the hole a little too deep. And
Yeah.
if you would have refilled it a little earlier,
And
it's
I'm
hard to
not a
tell.
complainer. Like I'm really not a complainer. So I said that at 5 weeks out because it was that bad. I was
Yeah.
probably dealing with it at 10 weeks out, 8 weeks out.
Yeah. No, I definitely understand that too. And like, but you don't want to step on the toes of your coach.
Yeah.
That's why you hired him, or that's why you're out seeking this advice
Yep.
anyway, is because you trust them to make that decision. So, I mean, it goes, for the people watching, like, it goes to show a coach, the right coach is very important. Like, it's nice to also know some of this information for yourself, though, so you can
Oh,
kind of
100%.
question when things may be going wrong. But like with me and Ben, sometimes I'll ask him purely out of curiosity, like, why are we doing this? And I don't necessarily think that's like a great habit for everyone to have because it would be, I'm sure, annoying. I've trained
It's all about
people.
how you ask it.
I was about to say, and it's not very often because like a lot of these things I know exactly why we're doing it. Maybe I don't trust myself to scheme on it the way he has and
Mm.
put it in motion the way he has. But like I understand why we're doing it,
Yeah.
you know.
And it depends too. It also
Yeah.
depends on like how long you've been with the person. Like for example, I just signed with Joe Percher. I want to say probably like I mean can't be more than 4 months ago or something like that. So it's still a very new relationship. So
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to really just stay in line with everything and really not question much. Like I think I asked
Yeah.
my first thing about training. I wanted to swap out a bicep exercise. I think I had even talked about it on here where I wasn't really feeling the dumbbell curls.
Yeah.
I wanted to swap that to a machine curl, and he's like, "Yes, please change it because what you feel is what you need to do." But
Right. Especially for
yeah,
arms.
oh yeah, for sure. And I did that today for the first time, and had way better pump. Insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with training, though, I think that training of all things should come down most to like client preferences.
Yeah.
Like you got to structure it in a certain way for sure, but like a lot of these exercises you can pick between, certain things, free weight versus cables, for example, or whatever.
Hmm.
But with like diet foods and stuff, especially like on a prep, I try to never question it or like make substitutions or anything
Hmm.
because there's usually a reason for that. And
Oh yeah.
diet in particular is a very, um, there's a lot of variables at
Hmm.
play there. Like even something may have the same amount of carbs, protein, and fat, but like the sodium content is
Yeah.
different. And now you're holding water, and it's like all this different stuff.
Yep.
Or maybe it messes your digestion up because you don't eat it very often.
Hmm.
And now you have other issues and your sleep's messed up. Or, God forbid, it hurts your training. I
Yeah.
mean, that's like the whole goal here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
And
mean, it
and
could be a lot of
that's with
problems.
what you were getting there with the training needing to be very personal to the client and their preference. The diet needs to be that way too, but it needs to come from a place of understanding, not a place of want. So if
Yeah,
you understand, I can't do potatoes because they'll destroy my stomach, or I can't
right.
do whey protein more than twice a day for whatever reason, something like that. That's info that needs to be expressed. But what
Yeah,
doesn't need to be expressed is I like 90-10 better than 93-7 beef. That doesn't matter.
yeah.
Something like that.
No. Yeah, so I can definitely see what you're saying. And yeah, I could like change my stance to that for sure. I think like there are a couple caveats, but for the most part, diet is one of those things that I really just listen to Ben on and I don't really
Mhm.
question too much of it.
Yeah. Well, do
Um,
you have any allergies or like sensitivities to food?
yeah, well, I actually do. I am allergic to like all nuts, like peanuts and
Oh,
stuff. So
okay. Oh, that
I don't
sucks.
eat peanut butter or almond butter. Yeah, I know.
I guess
For
you don't
real.
know the difference then. So
No, I mean I get my fats that I would get from say like peanut butter and almond butter of some sort. I just
Butter.
get from dark chocolate.
Oh, I used to do that. That's, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, and it tastes pretty good. Like I'll sprinkle that on top of cream of rice, or well, that's pretty much it. Sprinkle on top of
Yeah.
cream of rice, um, but yeah, I mean, I don't think anything different. You know, I've never had it, so
Yeah. Are you big,
it's not like
you big fan of eggs?
uh, I don't eat them.
Yeah.
I really don't eat them.
I'm allergic to
I'm
them, so it's
not a
not an option
fan,
for me.
bro. But eggs are like an ingredient.
I know.
Yeah, that's
I'm not deathly allergic to them, but if I eat them,
yeah,
I will get a super super sharp pain like right at my belly button, and it will just not go away unless I pass it
dang.
somehow. So obviously the easiest way to do that would be to make yourself throw up. But
Ugh,
I used to get car sick a lot as a kid. So along the lines somewhere, I kind of taught myself to never throw up again. So I just can't throw up, like no matter what.
yeah. That's kind of that's kind of disgusting to think
Yeah,
about.
I can't. Like, man, the amount of times I've had, like, this is like back when I was a lot less serious with the lifestyle and everything. I would have some type of cheat meal that had eggs in it or something, and I wasn't aware of it. The times I wish I could just like stick a finger down my throat and get this crap out of me, but I could never do it. I had no response to throw up, and that's another thing. Like with training legs, I'll train my ass off. I cannot throw up from a leg workout, and I feel like I'm missing out.
Dude.
I'll pass out,
Well,
but
I don't throw up. I mean, I've only thrown up a handful of times from like legs or something crazy like that. But the only time I've ever made myself throw up was like back in college, dude.
yeah,
Drinking. You like pull the trigger.
yeah,
Everybody does.
yeah. That's how I feel
Uh,
with eggs.
See, I can't. I used to be allergic to eggs, but not in the same way.
Oh,
I
you used
so
to
whenever
be.
I was born, yeah, I was about to say whenever I was born, I had over 50 food allergies. So I ate like rice cakes and only that as a kid. Rice cakes and tater tots, I'm pretty sure,
Damn.
was like all I could eat, and like corn. It was pretty crazy. And my mom would like sneak out of the house to eat McDonald's when my grandparents were watching me and stuff,
That's
because she
crazy.
would have to eat what I ate because I'd get really
Yeah.
upset as a baby. So moral of the story is I ate like nothing. Maybe that's why I'm so good at eating the way I am now, because I was kind of always like that. But
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, I outgrew a lot of them. But like peanuts and stuff, they stuck around. But I used to be allergic to eggs in the sense that it would just break me out. Like dairy,
Mm.
anything, wheat, all that stuff would just like it'd be severe indigestion almost, and I'd like break out all over my body. And like eczema, stuff like that. It would be allergy induced though, and I grew out of a lot of that stuff obviously because like I can eat a pretty decent range of food, but yeah, like the nuts, like, and it's all nuts,
Hmm.
like can't have like pesto because pine nuts are in there or whatever,
Oh man.
almonds, tree nuts, all that. Can't have any of it. So
Man, I'm sure you have a food group that is like this for you, but like if I had to pick one like not like a core food like cream of rice, protein powder, beef, chicken, my favorite like kind of food would be peanut butter for sure. I could literally, I'm sure I have actually back in the day. I'm sure I have sat there and just finished a jar, just
dude,
finish it
I
smooth
mean,
off.
I've heard some great things, but I've never tried it. So,
Do you have
like my
like a food
sister's
group?
allergic to it. Do I have a favorite food group?
Yeah, like that, where you could literally just eat nothing but this and just be healthy. That's how I am with peanut butter.
I don't know, dude. Like, I really enjoy. Yeah, I could say that I really like salty stuff,
Mm.
probably the most of anything. So, like, before I was bodybuilding, like as a kid, and like we're on vacation and we stop at a gas station, I get road trip snacks type of deal.
Like a pretzel.
I'd probably get like a bag of, I'd probably get like a bag of salt and vinegar chips or Pringles, and with like some type of like salty beef jerky or Slim Jim or something like that.
So, so do you have much of a
But
sweet tooth at all, or no? It sounds like you're more savory.
no, I do for sure, but
Ah,
like I
okay.
just prefer the salty stuff. I mean, I can eat pretty much anything, dude. Like
Yeah.
I'm, uh, I don't know. Yeah, I would say I like sweets, but the life kind of pulls you away from that stuff, and
It
I
does, but
don't crave it.
we got cream of rice and protein powder, man. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful time
for
to be a
sure.
bodybuilder. You got a dessert for
Yeah,
breakfast, and you got a ninja
pretty
creamy
good.
before bed.
Yeah, I know it's pretty good. I have a Ninja Creamy too, and I just don't really use it that much. I'm just like, I know I'm so, I don't know, I'm so stuck to the plan, man. I hate
Yeah.
switching it up, even in the off
Oh,
season.
so
Like,
it's not on your plan. That would make sense. Okay, because
no,
it
yeah.
is on my
I
plan.
mean, I'm sure I could ask him, but like, I don't know. I'm just not one to do that. I just usually like receive it, and I don't really ask. I don't ask for changes unless like there's really a problem. Like the most recent change that we made out of accommodation was the fact that my training time, or sorry, like my meal timing is now where my last meal before bed is my post workout meal.
Oh,
So we moved some like because I'll wait until like 5 p.m. to work out,
hmm.
and I'll eat at 6:30 or 7 whenever I get home, and I'll go to bed after that because I got to wake up again pretty early.
Oh, okay.
Um, and today was a rest day, so it's a bit more space.
That's where something like that is super important. If like
Yeah,
and it also comes with compound use too. Because like for example, if that's the schedule you have to sit to, you're not really someone who's ever going to be able to do post workout insulin because of that, obviously, something like that.
yeah. I mean, there's a
But
lot. Yeah,
you're
there's
also
definitely a
in
lot of different
classic. There's
things.
probably not a reason for it. Honestly, I'd probably stay away from it.
I would hope not. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about moving to the open too. I'm wondering what that would take,
Oh, well, for you, I don't think
but
it would
no, I
take.
mean,
I don't think it would take much, honestly. I'd say, you just kind of
yeah, I
fill
would
out
say
the classic cap, and then when you get there, then you kind of push those other levers.
that's what I thought too. I mean, there's no reason to fight against classic right now. I mean, I think I have the best chance of succeeding in that division first. And I don't want to rush it either. And then, like, if I had my sights set on open so early, I might blur the lines in my physique a little
One
bit
hundred percent.
by trying to like put on too much muscle. So if I take my time and refine it over and over and over again,
Yeah.
I think these lines will be more distinct, and I'll be able to put that muscle on.
And that's a really mature mindset I have, regardless on if you're doing classic or open. But
Yeah,
I know you're the same way. You don't do it for the stage. You do it because you love it. But for me,
yeah,
that goes even further. That one, I know I'm most likely not made for classic. I think I'm too close to the cap, and I don't have bird bones, like I've said before. But
yeah,
the another thing too is I want to put on a stupid amount of muscle. I just
yeah.
want to put on a
Thought about it.
I want to put on an ignorant amount of muscle. Okay,
Yeah,
I want to put on like because I had that 2 year off season where I put on like almost 30 pounds of stage weight. I want to try to do that shit in a year. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
yeah. Well, see, I can understand, dude, and that's like part of the reason why I would think about open is
But it
because
might
I
blur
do
lines though.
enjoy.
So
Do I?
it might blur lines doing it that way though. So I'm not saying it's the
Yeah,
right way. I think the way you were
yeah,
doing it is actually more intelligent.
yeah. I mean, I like the way that I'm doing it and everything. And I wouldn't consider myself a patient person, but there are choices that I've made out of patience.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And like that's one of them. I'm really the least patient person probably ever, but there is some logic that goes with being patient. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes sense to be patient sometimes. And so my logic overrides my impatience. But
I
it's just
yeah.
the smarter decision. I usually do rush things, and it's not like I'm not proud of that. But in this case, like again, it's why you hire a good coach because he says that he validates the patient decisions, and then I'm like, you know what, that is the right decision. That's the right move. I mean, it's kind of similar how I'm saying the overall goal is the show in December. Even though I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be stage ready by July
Yeah.
when they have USA's in Vegas. And that was another thought was like, do that or do we wait for December? And we chose to wait for December most likely.
Yeah.
And maybe I look ridiculous in July and I'm like, well, let's just send it. But I'm not a rich man, so I don't want to spend all that money to fly out there just to
So,
lose.
so how much does, because of course I've never done a national level show, how much do
Yeah.
you think that at the end of the day is actually going to cost someone to compete at a national level show?
Well, so I've done the national show once, but I did have paid entry, but my class, or my entry fee, and I only did one class, like no crossovers or anything, was $300 per class, which is retarded.
It is, but it's not like I would have, honestly, I would not have been surprised if it was double or triple that.
Well, Yeah, I mean, I can't get behind that.
I
Like,
can't either.
I know they
Like,
got to make their money.
I honestly think
Yeah.
that it should be probably half of that. I think it should be 150 for the national level, and then
Well,
probably like
ain't
75.
150 like what we paid for at
Yeah,
the freaking
that's what I'm getting
regional?
at.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it should be
Yeah.
150 for the national level shows. It should be like 75, 100 for the lower level
I mean,
shows.
it used to be that way, man.
Yeah,
Every time I talk to an old head, they're like, bro, you guys paying triple what we paid. I'm like, dude, tell me
bro.
about it, man. Like, I
The
know.
the Palmetto was like 75 2 years ago or something when I looked up prices.
Yeah, I mean, but bodybuilding is growing at such a
Yeah,
crazy rate, dude. And you can get newbies to pay anything.
yeah,
Not to sound like mean towards the new guys, but like obviously, like I said, logically thinking about it, like the people that have more inexperience don't know that these prices were that low 2 years ago.
yeah,
It's their first year and they think, oh, it's 150.
yeah,
That's not their fault. Like it's not their fault at all. But that's where it comes from. Is like bodybuilding's growing every year.
mm,
And let's say 100,000 people across the U.S. decide to do an amateur show somewhere. That's still 100,000 people that didn't know that price was that last year, and they can change it every year, and there's no real drawback. And
yeah,
because if anybody that's decent and would grow a voice in the industry, I guess per se, probably one they're amateurs and is already kind of moving towards that pro landscape. So like who's really going to talk about amateur bodybuilding? Because anybody that's really moving on up is already talking about the pros. Any
yeah,
prospect in the amateurs, they're already asking how's he going to stand up in the pros.
yep,
No one really focuses on amateur bodybuilding. So like I feel like promoters really run rampant with their pricing
yeah.
because who's going to check them? I don't see that happening. And it'll probably continue to get worse. But hopefully by then I'll be depressed. I don't have to worry
I'm
about it.
I'm sure it will. And you probably did the smart thing. I'm sure you probably only did one class at the Palmetto, right?
Yeah, I only do one class every time, dude.
That's what I'm gonna do going
Every
forward,
time.
man. Because
Yeah,
I did novice, I did classic open with you, then I did bodybuilding. I'm gonna
yeah.
just do bodybuilding open from here forward. There's no reason to
I
do a
mean,
novice. There's
yeah.
no like, yeah, it just doesn't
If my
matter.
goal is to go there and to, like, if I go to a regional like it was this last time, my goal was to qualify for a national show.
Yep.
I can only do that in the open. They may have other ones, but my goal is to win. Even at nationals, my goal is to win my classic pro card. If that's the goal going into it, why do I need to divert my attention to like three other categories that
Yeah.
don't really matter? It just equals in more stage time.
Yeah, and I'm glad I did it because, like you said, it gave me a ton of stage time. Because man, they worked
Yeah,
us. They worked us just for the
yeah,
one you did. They worked the hell out of you. So it was really good for that. It taught me a few things in that respect.
yeah,
But I didn't do that many classes just because I didn't know where I belonged. I didn't know if I was meant to be classic or
yeah.
open because it had
I
been
mean,
two
and that's
years.
completely valid. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's completely
but
valid, man. And
I'll never
especially
do it
like if it's
again.
your first couple. Exactly. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's wrong at all. Dude, fly. Uh, I don't think it's wrong at all to do multiple classes, like especially if you have the money to spend. But like from my perspective, it would not be a smart choice. Like I know what I'm there to do, and I don't want to spend that money. I don't. I'm I'm broke, so
Same.
I come from broke families. You know what I'm saying? Like my mind is always like I'm not going broke over this, man. Like
That's a
I've
good
got to
mindset.
save money. So and that's pretty much everything, man. Like it kind of sucks to a certain degree, but like I can eat, obviously. I,
Yeah,
pay for what I need to. So
it's
what I'm
just
saying
being.
is like I'm very stingy though. Like for
I don't even
sure.
think it's stingy, man. That's just called being a responsible adult.
Yeah, I'm really not trying to spend any more than I have to. And like I said, if the goal is to go compete in the open, then that's just what I'm going to do. And I don't think it's necessary for me to spend 150 extra dollars, or in a national case, 300 extra dollars,
Nah.
just to get a little bit extra stage time, especially because I have competed a few times. So it would be different for newcomers for sure.
Hmm.
And maybe, yeah, you don't really know where your genetics lie. And maybe this is your third show, but like you've developed in a couple new areas and you want to see it. Well, maybe it'll stack up better with different trunks like bodybuilding, and where they get measured and you do more poses and like there's more mandatories
Yep.
and you show your physique off in a different way. That's also normal because like I debated on it after my 2 year off season because 2 years was a lot of time.
Mm.
But then I decided, there was no point,
Yeah.
and for all the reasons I just listed. So,
Yeah, and it's like from here
oh,
forward, I'm looking for either a class win or overall. So just do the
yeah,
like. There's no reason for me to do the novice anymore. It's just a waste of
no,
money.
I definitely don't think so. And I think like you know what you're doing to the point where you could probably make your presence be known without being on the stage the whole time.
Mm,
I think that's like what a lot of people don't realize is going on out there.
mm,
There's a certain like charisma that you have to bring.
yeah,
And if you bring it, you kind of get the attention that you came to get. And maybe that sounds like
I know what you mean.
a riddle almost, but yeah, I mean, you know, people do more classes and divisions because they get more stage time, more time in front of the judges. But if you come out and nail it and you're posing with a smile and like you're hitting your poses because you practiced how to do that, you get that same look from the judges.
Mm,
They still see you and they're like, yeah, this guy nailed it.
yeah.
You know, so it's like, I think the same can be accomplished for about $150 cheaper. So, I mean, that's my thing.
Yeah, yeah, it was a
And
crazy,
maybe
crazy
that's like kind
expensive.
of an old school way to look at it, but
I think it's the right way to look at it, and that's definitely what I'm going to do going forward.
yeah.
It honestly, at the level I'm at, if I'm not good enough to win that overall for that show, I just need to straight up do a whole nother show. Honestly,
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, I'm just as like harsh, I guess you could say, about my own showings and like this my future prep coming up in the national show. Like, you know, I am pretty realistic with myself, and I would hope to be battling for a pro card by the age of 25. I would hope that I could do it in December, but like if not, you know, that's a very realistic thing to say. Like, yo, I'm only
yeah.
24, I might not be there yet.
Well, the way I see it
Um,
is, because how far under do you estimate to be under the weight cap?
Dude, I just don't know how I'm going to respond, man. Like, it gets crazier every year. I
Yeah,
know that kind of sounds like a dweeb thing to say,
I know
but
what you mean.
like, the progress is accelerating. It's not going the other way. So I'm making a lot more progress than I ever thought I would in 1 year.
So
And
let's say you add, I would say
I would say
15,
maybe estimate, or are we talking in May or like for a national show?
like the national show. Let's say you're 10 pounds up stage weight from your last showing, something like that. Where does that
I
put
bet
you?
I could be a little bit more than that.
Okay, let's say
I
15.
think I could, yeah, I was about to say, I think I could be around 190 to 195.
And your
Maybe
cap,
after a rebound, you know,
your cap
it's
202?
202. Yeah. So, you know,
You,
that would be
you,
because last show, the national show, I weighed 177. So, that would be
that's
insane if I can
crazy.
even get to 190,
That's
you know?
crazy because, dude, this is why you're made for classic. I'm telling you. At 177, I don't look like I lift weights, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
No, I understand, dude. I understand what you're saying for sure. I didn't think that I would get that light. I really did not. I mean, that you got to think too. That's like dehydration. That's like everything. That was the morning of the show. I was 177.
yep.
So maybe I filled out a little bit. I did get down to 175 in that prep, but that was like the most depleted
Yes.
look ever. You know, so I
Yeah.
filled back up about 2.5 pounds,
Well,
and
again, if it tells you how crazy flat I was, my peak low weight was like 185. I stepped on stage at 197.
dude, that's insane.
Yeah, and I was spilt,
It
but
still probably
let's
wasn't even.
yeah,
Yeah.
still that's how flat I
Oh
was.
man. Yeah. No, that's insane. I can't imagine. See, like, I don't know. I get peeled, but I feel like I guess I probably could go in a little bit fuller. I don't know. I was about to say something about that, but
I don't know
now that I think about it,
because I almost it's hard to tell with how they judge the amateurs versus the pros. I know at the pro level
yeah.
they definitely go for conditioning over anything for sure. In
Bro,
classic,
they did not.
they,
We're at the national show
yeah, yeah,
that I
yeah.
was at.
Well,
They
and
totally went for size.
if they were all close, like the top five or whatever, let's say they were all close to that 202 weight cap and you're there in the
Yeah.
170s, even if you are shredded out of your mind, I understand that. I don't agree with
Oh
it.
no, I totally
I'm
understood.
a
Yeah, I
conditioning
totally
guy.
understood.
I think that alone should put you higher than it did, but I
Yeah, I do
understand
too.
it.
I'm going to agree with that 100%. Like, I give a lot more props for conditioning because I feel like
It's work.
that is fully within your control.
Yeah.
Yeah, fully within your control during this prep, during the most recent prep. Like, maybe you're not big enough because you're young, whatever, but this prep, you freaking nailed it, you know?
Yep.
So I think that should matter. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not upset at all. Like, I totally understand why they judged it the way they did. I think I got a little overlooked. But with that being
It's
said,
hard
like,
not to at your first national show though.
bro, there were 24 dudes in my class.
Yeah.
it was like 80 or 90, maybe even 100 in the total classic category. So
Yeah, I believe it.
they were trying to speed run our division. I don't blame them for overlooking anybody. And I think that's why they went for size, because they could easily push the people away that were just not as big as these guys, you know?
It's understandable.
Because like I got the nod the first little bit, I got the nod because of my conditioning, but then like we got put into comparisons and I kind of got eaten up by these guys that just had more size on me. And like even then, their arms and legs kind of matched me, and like my glutes and lower back was way more peeled for sure. But that's 20% of the body
Yeah.
looked better on me. The rest of it was them. So yeah, I don't blame them in the
Yeah,
slightest. I
but
mean,
all
it's
that being
completely reasonable.
said, if you are, let's say, like, somewhere between 8 to 12 pounds away from that weight cap this time, you very well could be fighting for a pro card pretty soon.
Yeah, bro, I would hope so. And I would think by the time that I actually weighed 2 on 2 or 202 on stage,
Yeah,
it would probably be the most insane package that I've ever, I mean, obviously, because it'd be my highest weight, but I just mean like, I feel like that's almost like a pro level
100%.
for
You would,
me, because the weight
yeah,
cap only goes up by 10 pounds.
you would be a situation where you're the type of person where you win a classic pro card and you are immediately competitive within the division, and that's what you want. You like, let's say you did somehow win that pro card the last attempt. Okay, you still have to go into an off season for like 2 years, and maybe that's not enough. So
For
then you
sure.
have to go do your debut and not do as well, unless you
Yeah.
do like a really elaborate mini cut. But the way you're going
Yeah.
about it now, you're super young, so there's no lost time, first of all. But
Yeah.
now you get to basically just go from show to show. There's not going to be this dead time in the middle where you have to go
Yeah.
from earning a pro card to actually getting the pro physique, because when you have your pro card, you will have a pro physique.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would think so. Like, especially, like I said, the way my physique and like structure is kind of set up. If I could compete and win a pro card around 195,
Yeah,
I would bet that my next rebound would have me slightly over 202 anyway.
yeah,
Like if I put on 10 pounds, I'm at like 205 to 207 maybe, like from this next show. And that's already like getting into the, because my weight cap would then be 212. So I'd be like halfway there. Um, and there are people in classic that compete at that weight all the time. So
yeah. And that's the thing
I
too.
could probably
It's
do it.
it's an interesting height, right? Because you're kind of in between classic and open, right?
Yeah,
Because
I know.
a lot of them tend to be a bit taller. It's like our weight cap would literally be 212, which is an entire division. So
Yeah,
it's
I
like at
know.
that. So that's obviously not an option, because I'd say 5'7" at least for
Yeah,
212. So then
yeah,
it's at the point where basically you'll spend your entire amateur ranks in classic, most likely earn your pro card in classic, but then it gives you this decision to make once you turn pro. Do I stay in
for
classic, or
sure.
do I move to open?
Yeah, and that's exactly where I thought that my physique will eventually take me, is
I
like
think
to
so.
that point where, because what I'm figuring is like there'll probably be a point where 212 isn't realistic for me bringing the best physique that I
Hmm.
can, because like like we're saying, I'm pretty young, so like if there's a option to keep putting on muscle, I don't necessarily want to limit myself. And maybe that day comes. I would hope that I could refine my physique and kind of get like a harder look even under that weight cap for a couple years,
Yeah,
like in the pro leagues, maybe like work my way up, maybe get to the Olympia. Who knows what's in store? But eventually I'm figuring that like at least before I retire, like let's give this open thing a shot. Like let's try and bump up the food a little bit. Let's try and get a little bit bigger.
yeah, and
But the thing is,
that
it's
depends on
like,
your timeline too. Like if you're one of these guys who wants to be done competing by 35, that's gonna make that a bit tough.
well,
But
see, and that's exactly kind of where I stand. But maybe there's, I say that, but like with the technology, like the medical technology that we have, how often blood work is discussed in the sport now, maybe 40 doesn't look so bad anymore. You know what I mean? Type
no,
of thing. So like, it's hard to tell where my head's gonna be at. I mean,
there are
bro,
guys
that's
competing in almost into their 50s that look phenomenal. Look at William
oh,
Bonet.
100%. I was
It's
literally about to say Williams, the
Yeah,
example.
yeah. Hell, most of our, I think, let's see, Hadi, Sampson, Andrew, who was, uh, yeah, I think at least three or four of the top 5 to 6, they're all past 35, close to 40.
Yeah, they're
So
definitely getting there. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it just depends, I guess, where my head's at the time. But all that depends on, realistically, my success in the sport. Like, if I'm just buns my whole career, then I'll probably call it a quits.
nah,
Like,
I don't,
like,
I
what's the
don't,
point?
I don't see that. I don't see that.
Yeah,
And for me, I'm the type of person that I probably would be the guy. I don't know if I'd still be competing at 40, 45, but I'll definitely still be doing everything I do at 40, 45.
yeah.
That's for sure.
I've had a lot of thoughts. Like, I can't imagine not living this type of lifestyle. And like,
Yeah.
I don't think it will be this harsh. Like, I will definitely go on vacation and not stress my nuts off about what food I'm going to eat
Yeah.
or whatever for the week. But like, living with no structure for me, dude, like I said, I'm pretty sure we talked about that last time.
It's
Like, I really
chaos.
crave structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see how, I don't know. I just don't see how I can live without having some form of structure to my day to day. And I feel like this really keeps my head in line too. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I would be an emotional wreck, honestly, if I didn't have this structure. Like bodybuilding, some people look at it as a cage. I look at it as a giant wall around me. It's not a cage. It's protecting me because, like, without that sense of that foundation, man, I'm all over the place. I don't know what to do with myself.
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. And I think, maybe this is kind of too deep, but like, you know, if you go back to the Bible and type stuff,
Hmm.
when man was given freedom, they made all the wrong choices. So
Yeah.
to put it lightly, like, I don't think absolute freedom is actually a good thing. Like, it is, you should have the freedom to structure things yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. But structure is a good thing. And I don't, not from the government. That's what I believe. I don't believe in like forced structure, but I do believe in like aligning yourself up with a structured life because it is a good thing and generally a good sense of morality to limit yourself from bad behaviors and keep yourself in line with certain things that end up positively. And for me, like I'm a Christian. I practice my faith, so um, putting that structure on myself, being a bodybuilder, eating in a structure type manner, all this structure, I feel like keeps me going in the right direction. Like if I had the walls broken down, for example, and I could make any choice I wanted, I also think that you probably would be stuck in this constant state of like trying to decide what your better option is all the time.
I would
But
be
when
so
you've like
unhealthy.
developed, yeah, dude, I mean, like a very watered down example of this is like people that don't eat on a meal plan have to decide what's for dinner every
Yeah.
freaking night, and I know that gets exhausting, but I already know what I'm eating.
Yep.
So like that's just an example. Like when you're constantly put in position to make decisions all the time, it is exhausting. But when you have some form of a compass, whether that's for bodybuilding goals, whether that's for like faith goals, whether that's for career goals, you have some sort of compass, it kind of tells you no automatically on some things if it just doesn't work with the goal.
Yes,
And
and I think that
yeah, I
can
see.
kind of lead into something that I was thinking about. So I recorded a solo episode last night. I had got a bunch of questions from people. I had probably like, I think I had maybe 10 questions. I didn't get to all of them, but one of the
Yeah.
questions was basically, do you believe in balance in bodybuilding, or what does that look like? And I started off answering that question by saying no. But by the end of it, my answer was kind of yes and no. And just to recap, because people will see that video, I may post that after this or before this, I'm not sure. But basically, if your version of balance is thinking that you can live like a normal person and not look like a normal person, it's not going to work. We can't
Yeah.
do that. But
Yeah.
the type of balance that we should actually strive for are just the non negotiables, the pillars of a healthy life, which would
Yeah.
be your family. Your family relationships have to be good. Now, that might just be one person. That might just be your significant other. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, if that can extend to parents, siblings, things like that, that's great. That needs to be a healthy relationship because if it's not, man, I know people in those situations and it's such a stressful environment. And
Yeah.
I've talked on here before, a stressed bodybuilder is not a productive bodybuilder.
No, I agree completely.
And then the second one was your physical health. If you're not healthy, you're not going to grow. So at the very least, you have to be balanced in that manner. You can't push the gas
Yeah.
24/7. You will eventually burn out. We talked about that a
Yeah.
little bit as well. And then that third thing, which I truly do believe is a part of balance we should seek in bodybuilding, is some type of spiritual health as well. And that doesn't necessarily mean, for people like me and you are religious or Christians. So for us, that's going to be God. That's going to be Jesus. That's going to be the church. But for, other people, that's going to be something as simple as their mental health, something like that. I
Yeah.
believe that's what balance looks like to me. If that's balance, then
Yeah.
yeah, you have to have that balance for bodybuilding. But I don't believe that you can do these crazy things. Like, you can't drink every weekend. You can't probably shouldn't drink at all if you're
No, of
bodybuilding.
course
You
not.
can't eat pizza every weekend. You can't have a crazy cheat meal every other day, like stuff like that. You can't live like a normal person and expect to be exceptional.
Yeah. Well, I definitely agree with that last line. Yeah. If you expect to do anything that's not ordinary, you cannot do what most people do.
Yep.
And most people do exactly that. They make bad decisions. Um, but I tend to lean on the fact, or I tend to lean on my idea is that there's no real balance in it.
Mhm.
But I do understand what you're saying. I think there's balance within bodybuilding,
Yes.
but there's not balance of other things to bodybuilding.
It's about
Like bodybuilding is
making
all consuming.
it's about making bodybuilding work in your life, not the other way around.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
I was about, yeah. I mean, because you have to basically accept the lifestyle of bodybuilding and everything else will kind of conform to that. What do I have time for outside of getting my meals in, training, going to bed on time? You know, other like my morning routine is 30 minutes long because I have to do certain things,
Yep.
check my weight, do blood pressure, blood glucose, like all these things that I have to do every morning. And you sign up for that lifestyle.
Yep.
And then what else do I have time for within that? I mean, that's your balance within bodybuilding, but like that comes on the terms of
Yes.
bodybuilding. So
There's these
it's not the
gaps.
same.
There's these gaps. Like, so for example, I ate a meal at 4:30. I need to eat my next meal before 7. It's 6:40 right now. So I have another 20 minutes to kind of get these things in between that fit within bodybuilding. But here's the thing, when it comes 7 o'clock, I'm eating my food.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, the same way. And, for me, like I'm working throughout the day and then the evening, maybe I'm playing the game, maybe I'm going out golfing. Like I never do that, but of course, when you text me, I went golfing for the first time in months.
Dude, I need to go
Um,
golfing. That sounds like so much fun.
I can't move out there, man.
I
Like
know
I didn't realize
that's
how
that's half the
like
fun is laughing at yourself.
bro, I have this one video. I only took like one video of my own swing.
Yeah.
Like my buddy took it, but dude, I just look like a brick out there. I'm not
Yeah.
moving the way I'm
We
supposed
have
to.
a annual golf tournament for my brother's foundation. I need to play in it next year just so I can get a video of my big ass
Bro, I mean,
swing
it's
at a
a good
golf
time.
club.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good time though. I can't lie. And like, like no one that I play with is super great or anything. Like we're all
That's how it's got to be.
we're not. None of us are horrible, but none of us are good either. So
Nobody's
it's
Tiger
fine.
Woods out there.
No, dude, and even like we sometimes they make some really good plays. I never do, but like sometimes they make some really good plays. They hit some good shots, and like we can all. I guess what I should say is no one's unforgiving about it.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to suck. So no one's like tight if somebody really is like sucking super bad and we're playing over in the other fairway. Like it's still a good time. So
Yeah. And stuff like that, you can very easily fit that within bodybuilding. But, like we're saying,
Yeah.
there is still this cage of bodybuilding around
Yeah.
it. And then you find a way
Well,
to make things work.
yeah, and for example, like the only reason I agreed to go golf was because it was on a rest day and on a Friday. So I didn't have to go to the gym and I didn't have to wake up early to go to work. So I was like, okay, I'll go golf. But
makes
it
sense.
aligned perfectly with the gap that I did have. But that's not something like I could say, oh, every Friday we could go because I do 2 on, 1 off. So every Friday ain't a rest day,
Yeah.
And
It's the only
like
thing
this
stopping
weekend
me.
they want to go again, but my rest day Sunday, so then I got to decide. And I've talked about this before, but my gym closes at 5 p.m. So I've got to make it there before then,
Oh, I don't
which
know.
sucks.
I don't know if you have mentioned that. That's crazy.
No, yeah, it's pretty freaking aggravating.
Oh, that's
Gets on my
wild.
freaking nerves.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Not through the
Oh,
week. Not through the
okay.
week.
Okay.
Yes,
That makes
okay.
that
So
makes
I see why.
sense.
Yeah, no, but it's still ridiculous for the weekend,
Yeah.
especially like a Saturday, man. I get that on Sunday a little bit more, but Saturday, like, we're not all trying to rush out to the gym before 5 just because it's Saturday. And some
Yeah.
people still work on Saturday.
Yep.
So I don't understand that.
Probably staffing and
But
stuff like
anyway,
that.
yeah,
Yeah. But
bro, I
that
could get going.
uh another the last thing on balance, which we have the holidays approaching. What's
Yeah.
your perspective on that? Being in an off season, going into holidays, how do you handle that situation?
Um, hmm. Well, I'll probably have one plate on Thanksgiving, and I'll probably have one plate on Christmas, if that. I mean, it just really depends, man. Like, my immediate commitment was to not cheat at all.
That's how I
But I
am.
do think, yeah, but I do think that I may end up like with each side of my family having one meal
Yeah.
just to signify that like I'm a part of the family for today because they I'm raised in a southern family. Like, serving food to one another is the highest form of
Yep.
love, and they really take offense to it, bro. Like, a lot of offense. My
Yeah.
grandparents really hate when I don't eat their food.
And that's a situation where balance does apply because I think in an off season,
Yeah,
if you want to take a meal that day, go for it.
yeah.
I don't think there's a problem with that. But
No, no,
if you're in
if I was on
contest
prep,
prep,
it'd be a different
if you're in
story.
contest prep,
Yeah.
that's not negotiable. You know.
No, yeah, for sure. And did that actually. I prepped us for my 23 for the year 2023. The show I did, I started December 1st instead of January. So
Ooh,
I missed Christmas. And
good
I was on
stuff.
prep for Christmas, which I was cool with. Like, I don't have if I'm on contest prep, bro, I just tell everybody,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm prepping for a show. Like, I got a reason. But if it's the off season, they're like, why aren't you eating? And I'm like, well, I like to stick to my meal plan. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't really have like, not that it ain't a good reason. I perfectly validate it, but it does make it a bit harder to explain to them. And like I said, they're old and they don't really understand what I'm doing, so they take offense to it, and
They do.
like they think, oh, this ain't good enough or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah. It
dude,
took
obviously I would eat this every day if I could. Like,
it took my
obviously,
family probably at least 5 years to get used to it. And my wife's
yeah,
family the same way. But I'm telling you, man, now if I show up to a function with or if I don't show up to a function with a Tupperware, like a Thanksgiving meal or something, they're like,
where's your
where's your
food?
food? Yeah.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
they
I've
learn to get
experienced
along
that
with
as
it.
well.
Yeah, and it's like this
Yeah,
year, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may take a free meal today, I may not. Honestly, it just depends
yeah.
if I
I was
want to
going to
have it, then I will.
So what I like to do is I like to, especially in the off season, because like I don't want to swap out a meal. So what I'll do is I'll bring my meal and eat it, and then however hungry I am after I've already finished my meal, I will then like pick off of the meal that they've made. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that
So
works. That
like,
works for you too, because your appetite being where it is. However, for me, I'm a fucking animal. So
yeah,
if I do that, I'm eating 10,000 calories.
yeah, yeah. I guess
If-
that is the difference for sure. Because I'm like halfway full already.
I need to sub
Sometimes
out.
like 75%.
I got to sub out at least 2 meals, or I'm waking up 10 pounds heavier. That's what I would have to do.
Dude,
And,
that's crazy.
I'm speaking from my old situation of like being really
Yeah,
food focused and stuff. I say that now. I definitely wouldn't do that now. I most
yeah,
likely am not even going to cheat for those meals unless I'm in a cruise. If I'm in a cruise, then I will, because that's what I found out I
yeah,
really like doing. I like being 150% on the plan. Obviously in prep, but then also
yeah,
if I'm on a cycle in the off season, I'm treating it like prep. But if I'm on a cruise,
yeah,
and we typically recomp during cruises as well, once a week, I'll take a cheat meal. No problem.
yeah. I I kind of find myself in the middle on that. I don't really know how I would respond. I mean, I try just to avoid them altogether. I can't say that like um that it's like easier for me to make a cheat meal decision on or off blasting,
Well, yeah, the
but
only
it does
reason that I
make
say
sense what
that
you're
for me
saying.
is just because when I'm on the cycle, like I want to make sure I'm making as much lean quality progress
Yeah,
as possible. I don't want to blow out my ceiling and gain 5 pounds of fat from a cheat meal and water,
yeah.
and then have to do some
No, I totally
counterproductive.
understand what you're saying for sure. And also like on a from an organ standpoint, I
Yeah,
mean, you don't want to eat some like crazy greasy,
yeah,
fatty food when your liver's already kind of under attack. So,
mm,
um, but at the same time, from a body composition standpoint, like I would say that your appetite and body fat would be less likely to get messed up if you were on blast
100%.
because androgens make you a little hungrier. And of course, your metabolism's faster already
Yeah.
from the added hormone usage. So it's like you can kind of get away with food a little bit more Not. I mean, it's actually a lot more harmful at a consistent rate. But the one-off cheat meal, I would say, is probably less of a big deal when you're on cycle.
Oh yeah,
From a body composition standpoint, like I said, from an organ standpoint, now I've already
yeah.
said, that probably mess you
But
up.
then
But
from another angle, like you said, your appetite is higher on cycles, so I'm more likely to go off the
yeah,
rails. If I'm on a cruise,
yeah.
I'm gonna probably
From a
take a
mental
pretty
aspect, I can see that.
pretty conservative cheat meal. It's probably gonna be steak and potatoes. But if I'm on a
Yeah,
blast, I'm eating two steaks and four potatoes.
yeah.
So
See, I can't even, man. I just don't have it. Like, I just don't have the desire to eat like that. So I don't have any. I'll eat till I'm full, but like I don't really ever push past that.
that's the problem with me, man.
And
I never get full. That's the thing.
yeah,
It's like it's like the
you
whole
should probably
quote.
get your brain looked at, dude.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's like a
the whole quote. That's my secret. I'm always
yeah.
hungry.
Yeah, bro, for real. If we could switch, I mean, I would take it.
I,
Honestly, I'm sure it's a blessing and a curse, but like,
I think for those
dude,
particular situations that we are both in, our individual situations are perfect. Like
yeah,
I think you're built for classic. You're destined to do great things in that division. And me,
appreciate it.
I want to do open regardless of anything. So it's like having that really healthy appetite is only going to be positive
For
from that
sure, dude.
perspective.
I will say that's definitely going to be my biggest threat. If I'm ever trying to move to the open, it will be a food thing. I probably will start blending chicken. I'll probably start blending up food and trying to drink it instead
I
because
don't even drink my protein
it's just
shakes
so
right now,
bad.
man.
Dude, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I just can't eat. Like, I'm sitting, sometimes, bro, it takes me an hour and a half to eat a meal because I'm like sitting there at one bite at a time, like forcing it, forcing it, forcing it. And it's difficult,
Well, that shows a mental strength to be able to do that. That is a very
bro.
difficult thing that
Gosh,
I
it's the
would
most
never.
miserable freaking
Yeah,
hour ever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have our
But no,
blessings and our curses, but I think we're
for
at
sure.
we're like an hour and 20 here, so I don't want to take any more of your time. And
Yeah.
I got to slam a
No, you're
meal
good,
here.
bro.
We're talking about food. I'm starving. I'm
Yeah.
about to eat turkey, rice, green beans, and it's gonna be
I know.
delicious.
I'm about to finish up my food probably around 7:30 and finish off with some cream and rice.
Dude,
See how we
I
go.
could eat cream of rice with whey drip and fruit. I could eat that 8 times a day, no problem.
Yeah. See, dude, that's the thing. Like, I used to be able to do that, but I'm eating so much cream and rice, dude. Like, I can't hardly stomach it anymore.
Well, how much are you eating?
Like 150 grams.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I eat. Yeah, I have 140 grams twice a day. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
See, I'll do 150. I'll either do 150 once a day or twice a day, but it is every day. And it's kind of rough for me, dude. Like,
What's your
I don't
water?
know.
Because that's the thing I love about cream of rice, man. If you have a crazy appetite like me, you can put some baking powder, you can put extra liquid, you can even put
Yeah.
metamucil, psyllium husk, stuff like that in it to make it more voluminous. But you can also
Yeah.
make it really condensed. Have you tried doing that?
So yeah, I mean, it's not like I'll say it's not like it's a super heavy bowl. I mean, back when I first started eating it at 150 grams, like it was no problem. I thought the same, like, oh, I could eat this every freaking day, which I still do. But I'm saying, like, I can enjoy this every freaking day.
Yeah, yeah.
And, but now it's just gotten to the point where, like, the moment it hits, it's like the texture, like everything about it. I'm like, man, I've been doing this for
Okay.
so long
So it's the
that I just
repetition.
cannot. Yes, where I was like, just this food is not, but pasta doesn't do that. I can eat pasta every freaking day
That's the thing
and
about me, man.
enjoy it.
I'm a little Asperger. I can do the same thing at the same time on the same day of the week all the time, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I
I
can.
see, like, I can
The
do
only
it for a
reason
lot, but the cream of rice, man.
The only reason I even change up my spices on chicken and stuff because my wife has to eat the chicken I cook. If it were me, dude, I'd be throwing that crap in a pan of boiling water and just eating it bland because I don't care.
Yeah. See, that's what I do. I eat everything bland, and like I kind of gave up on me and Liz eating the same food a long time ago. So I just make food for me. She'll occasionally. So it's funny because she'll actually come over to my house and make food for my family, but I don't eat it.
That's crazy.
So,
It's
but she
cool though.
loves cooking for people.
That's
Yeah, she
awesome.
loves cooking for people, but she can't cook for me. And
Yeah.
her family, they're good cooks, so they cook for themselves a lot, or like they'll take turns or whatever. But Liz really loves like serving people. Like I said, it's that
I love
southern
doing
thing.
that.
So
So that's the thing. Like
yeah,
for Thanksgiving this year, and this is another reason that I most likely will take the cheat meals because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cook the food. I'm gonna cook turkey, like
Yeah.
turkey breast on the grill. I'm
Yeah.
gonna cook rice, maybe some potatoes, some vegetables. It'll be a off-plan meal, but it will still be my macros for
Yeah.
that specific meal. So that's kind of my
For sure.
compromise. But here's the
Yeah.
thing: if we have like and two, what I like to do is my mom is super creative with baking and stuff, so I can have her make a sugar-free, fat-free dessert that I can eat if I wanted,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. And that's what I was about to say the same about, or sorry, I was about to say something about desserts though, was that I kind of just choose to stay away from those, and I really don't have much of an issue with cheat meals.
Yeah.
Like if I eat, first and foremost, if I choose to have a cheat meal, it's usually a pretty decent cheat meal, like a
Same.
healthy cheat meal.
I've not.
It's usually a good protein.
I've had one dirty cheat meal since the show, and it was a burger. Actually, it wasn't even a burger. It was a chicken cheesesteak with no cheese, no bacon, and sweet potato fries. That was the dirtiest thing I've had.
I did have one, and it was Cracker Barrel pancakes and stuff. That was phenomenal.
Actually, two. That was the second one. But
Yeah.
the chicken cheesesteak. Actually, both of these they were back to back. It was the night of and then the day before because that was when I was in that 9 week of no or not 9 week. Jesus, 9 day period
Yeah.
or something like that. Was it? Is it 6 days? 6 or 9? 6 days, something like that.
Not training.
I hadn't trained for a long time. I think it was like
Yeah.
6 days. It was either 6 or
Oh
9
yeah, I
days.
remember you talking about you was going to
Yeah.
go out to eat.
But the only reason I ate those dirty cheat meals is because my coach literally told me to because we were trying
Yeah.
to reduce fatigue. He's like, look, go out for dinner and then I want you to go get breakfast with your wife the next morning. So I'm like, okay, that tells me I need to not be neurotic and I need to not do sushi or something clean like I've been doing.
Yeah.
I need to go eat an actual dirty cheat meal because we're trying to de-stress and don't go
For
crazy
sure.
on it. Like that's why I did the no
Yeah.
cheese, the no bacon, stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
enjoyed myself.
Yeah. I think that's important too for like excuse me, like mental freshness, you know what I'm saying? Like
And before I start prep, I'll definitely do that again. Like my last cheat meal
yeah,
before prep, like
you got to get one out.
I've not had
You gotta get
pizza.
one.
I've not had pizza in probably 2 years at
Oh,
least.
me neither. I was just talking about this the other day like
Yeah,
I would love to have an opportunity. I don't dude, the thing is like I want to have one more like good cheat meal before prep because I'm about to start prep for a
yep.
freaking year. But also, like, I would hate to mess up any momentum I have going into prep. That's kind of my thought process. I
Well,
don't think it
that's
would, but
why
like,
you keep it to
oh, it scares me.
just one, and you still
Yeah,
set some guidelines. Like I've not had pizza in over 2 years. My last cheat meal before prep, I'm gonna have mellow mushroom. It was my favorite place growing up
yeah.
as a kid. So,
I used to have one nearby.
yep. So that's what I'm doing. You might have even been to the one that's going to be in Raleigh. Most likely, that'll be the one I go to.
Yeah. Um, yeah. No, you've almost twisted my arm. I may have a cheat meal before
I
prep.
think you should,
I might have a
especially
cheat meal.
prepping for a whole year, man. I
Yeah.
think you need to give yourself a clean slate going into it. And hey, who knows? Maybe you kick your metabolism up going into that prep from doing that,
Yeah.
especially because your body's not used to it. Now that
Well,
that doesn't that
100%.
doesn't
Like,
mean
I've seen that happen.
that doesn't mean eat 10,000 calories, but you get
Yeah.
one entree from the pizza place. You share the pizza with your
Yeah.
family. And
Yeah.
smart choices, stuff like that is what
Yeah,
makes it.
for sure. Dude, I actually do. I'm not bad at practicing self-control when it comes to like cheat foods and stuff. Like a lot of the cravings and stuff, man, I really feel like I've mastered it. I'm good with like a diet soda. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
I
that
don't
can
even do
kill it for
that.
me. Even some like if I save my fruit to be snacks, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool with like that little bit of sugar is
Yep,
like from the fruit
I love fruit,
is
man.
perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm a
mean that's
huge
really not
fan.
a problem.
Like I could eat that bowl of cream of rice with blueberries and strawberries and whey.
Yeah,
No cravings for anything sweet
yeah,
since I have that. Like I'm right
yeah,
now looking forward to going to bed so I can wake up and eat that meal in the morning.
yeah.
That's a
Dude, that's
great
how I
place
am
to be
during
in.
prep. I'll also say too during prep, like I'll purposefully buy higher quality groceries and stuff because I'm also eating less, you know. So like
Same.
things will taste better. Like for example, for a while I was buying the Prod Foods cream of rice,
Yeah,
so it was
it's all
already
right.
flavored to
Well,
something else.
yeah. So what are you doing now for your cream of rice?
The regular smegular orange
I'm
pops.
doing below the regular smuggler. I'm making my own, putting jasmine rice in a blender.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I'm all about
That is bonkers.
saving that money, man.
That's
Okay.
even yeah, that's even crazier because I was just thinking cream of rice is mad expensive.
Yep.
But during prep, I'll probably buy that Prod Foods again because it was just so nice to have that. It tastes so good. Sprinkle some dark chocolate on the top.
Yeah, I've got a couple people
Phenomenal.
at my gym who are sponsored by Flavor Gang, and I really
The
don't.
sauces,
I
yeah.
I don't want to try it. Well, they have a bowl of gains, which is cream of rice too. I
Oh, okay,
I want to
yeah,
try it, but I kind of don't want to because I feel like that's a switch I ain't gonna be able to unflip, and that's gonna get pricey.
yeah. I feel pretty comfortable with Pride Foods because I did the math on. I can't remember, but like it was reasonably priced for
Oh
the
yeah,
servings that
I,
you get. But
I'm
like
not. Yeah,
Elevate, for example,
yeah.
is
I'm not
cheap
against
to me,
it.
man.
It's just for me mentally, I can't because I look at white jasmine rice as basically being free. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
25
no,
pound
for
bag
sure.
or a 50-pound bag is like $20 or something like that. It seems.
Yeah,
I don't even factor that into my grocery bill.
for
So
sure.
when I know that I can do that, it's like I feel guilty buying that pricey
Yeah,
cream of rice because it's even though it is affordable, it's still 10 times the cost.
yeah. Well, that's why, like I said, I'll kind of stick to doing that during prep, and then after prep, no matter what you eat, tastes amazing.
Yep.
I feel like anyway, because you're so hungry, and you're eating a larger amount of everything. So I can make that switch and be relatively smooth about it. I won't have no problems. But
I'll probably
if
do
it's
that my next prep. I think that's a good idea. I'll kind of switch over to that when the cream of rice volume goes down. That's smart.
yeah, exactly, and yeah, because like I said, it tastes good, and I think it's just like you're not going to be using as much of it because you're in
Yep.
prep. All these things, so like you can get away with having stuff like that. But yeah, like in an off season, I'm eating 150 grams per bowl.
Mm,
I'm just going to buy the regular cream of rice because I don't want to
100%.
buy 3 bags of Prod Foods cream of rice at a time to last me, 3 weeks or whatever. Like
Not
I
in
was
this
running
economy.
through it. Yes, where I was running through it. It just wasn't worth it anymore. Then I realized, but like I also have no problem switching foods like that. Not to say that like I do appreciate the order of
Mm,
things, but like if it's especially if it's financial, bro, that overrules everything. Like I
100%.
just don't even think about it. I'm like, well, it's too expensive, so they lost a customer or whatever. I'm like, I can't, you know, you're
I'm the
boxing
same
me
way.
out. Like they're boxing me out because I'm not going to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm the same exact way. That's how I feel with a lot of like
Yeah.
the different qualities of chicken and stuff. I get my $1.99
Yes, dude.
chicken, especially in off season.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And if you like outprice it, if you outprice me as the customer, then I'm not changing my mind. I mean, that's all I can say about it. There are reasons that I feel the way I do about certain prices and like the servings you get with them. And me as the customer, like I get to choose what I spend my money on. So I'm obviously going to choose
That's
for
that's why
something that makes more sense.
I stopped buying pre workout because they switched to 20 serving containers.
A lot of people did that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wait for deals to come around.
Yep.
But I'll buy them in bulk. So like I'll get a non-stem and a
Yeah.
stem and just one scoop of each,
Running the gym, we
and that
have these ready
will
to
last
drink
me.
ones we put in the vending machine. So if I use
Yeah,
it maybe once a week. If I feel like I need one, I'll just get that.
yeah.
I can't
I used to
justify.
do that when I worked.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
I was
you're
just about
good.
to say I used to drink those whenever I worked at Gold's.
Yeah.
We had them in the Gold's cooler. Like when I was working there, we had Total Wars was what it was
That's
at
what we
first.
have. Yeah, that's exactly what we have. That's what I'll do every time again. And it's just caffeine, a
They
little bit of
hit.
citrulline. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, bro, they hit straight to the dome, dude. You drink it in two gulps, and it's like straight to the dome. Caffeine, beta alanine,
Oh yeah,
scratching at the neck. You're ready for your workout, dude. It's
it's
that
the good
quick.
stuff. It's the good stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
well, this was fun. This is a great episode. It's about an hour and a half, man. But edited
Yeah,
down,
bro.
it'll probably
It's
be like
all
an hour
season.
and 20. So yeah,
Yeah,
I appreciate your time. We definitely got to do more of these, man. It was fun chatting.
yeah, bro. For sure. Just text me whenever, man. We can definitely figure it out.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys all for watching. If you made it to an hour and a half, drop a comment, please, or something. That'd be awesome to see who made it to the last 5 minute curve. But this has been another episode of the Iron Obsession Podcast. Thank you guys for watching.